Awesome homecoming week last week. That was phenomenal. The football team won, obviously. And first-class events, everybody that was involved in the parade and all the other events. All right, I'm pleased to present to you the drug-free pledge for Red Ribbon Week. You can take out your glow sticks at this time and go ahead and break them, or your flashlight. All right. I'd like you to show your commitment to being drug-free by lighting your glow sticks or flashlights and pointing them forward toward your promising future as we pledge the following. All right, as young adults, we promise to talk with those we trust about the dangers of drug abuse to help protect us. We promise to set clear rules for ourselves about not using drugs even when tempted or pressured. We promise to respect our parents, schools, and community rules about no substance abuse. We promise to set a good example for our friends by not using illegal drugs or legal drugs illegally. We promise to encourage family and friends to follow the same guidelines to keep everyone safe from substance abuse. Now, if you could please join with me in the pledge. I pledge to make healthy choices.
I pledge to make healthy choices.
To be a positive role model for my friends.
To be a positive role model for my friends.
To support the mission of Red Ribbon Week.
To support the mission of Red Ribbon Week.
No use of illegal drugs.
No use of illegal drugs.
No illegal use of legal drugs.
No illegal use of legal drugs.
It is up to me to be drug-free.
It's up to me to be drug-free.
All right, go Dragons.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, good morning, Dragons, loved ones, and esteemed guests. Welcome to the culminating event of Kubasaki's Red Ribbon Celebration. For those of you that do not know, Kubasaki has been celebrating and educating for the past month about drug awareness. Today we come together to celebrate each one of our promising futures, our glowing futures. We started with our drug-free pledge to begin securing our futures from the horrors of addiction. And now, I am very proud, so proud I can't even put into words, to introduce our speaker. Her name is Janetta McSwain. She is an amazing woman who has overcome, some would say, unbeatable odds. I'm not going to waste your time with my flimsy words that can't do her justice. Instead, I'd like you to turn your eyes to the screen to watch a 10-minute introductory. It's a portion of a documentary that won an Emmy put out by Georgia Public Broadcasting. This documentary will introduce her better than I ever could. Following the documentary, Janetta will be here with us via the internet to speak to us herself of how she secured her own glowing future. When Janetta has 2 minutes left in her speech, I'm going to come on the screen. You will see me give her a peace sign. That means she has 2 minutes left. At that point, if you have written down any questions on your cards for Janetta, I would like you to pass those cards to the right end of the aisle, where we have students that are going to collect the cards and bring them up to representatives who will ask those questions to Ms. Janetta with the remaining time we have left. So without any further ado, please turn your eyes to the public broadcasting documentary.
Today in America, roughly 12,000 babies will be born. Most will grow up with a full shot at the American dream. But on any given day across our nation, 2,500 children experience severe neglect or abuse. Nearly 1 million a year.
I can remember being tied up as a little girl, sitting in a chair, hands tied up, legs tied up.
Janetta McSwain lives in Atlanta with her sons Jaleel and Rashad. Her childhood was spent in Birmingham, Alabama, where she and her sister Sonia were abused by 3 uncles while in the care of their grandmother.
Moving from Birmingham, Alabama and going back home over the years has been an eye-opener. Has shown me this is what you left. Why didn't you leave earlier? My grandmother would go fishing a lot. She loved to go fishing. She would leave me and my sister, who was 6. I was 5, and I had a boy cousin who was 5. The abuse started with my uncles sitting us in chairs, maybe 3 chairs in the living room. They would lock all the doors. What was bills? We started one outside. There's still bills. I can remember my pants, this little girl being ripped off and your clothes ripped. It was just so brutal. And I couldn't understand why would somebody, your blood, your relatives, do that to you. And having a boy cousin, watching a boy, being molested and penetrated, it was just horrific. It was horrific to go through. And this happened for years.
Janetta contracted syphilis as a result of the sexual abuse. Threatened by her uncles, she never told about the abuse.
I was so afraid, so I didn't tell anyone, because the fear that was put in me. Another thing was my mother was gone so much, and coming from a parent who didn't want me, who also emotionally abused me, why should I tell? Who cares? Who cares?
Jeanette Madison is the mother of Janetta and Sonia. She was sexually abused by her father as a child.
It was me and my sister Gertrude, and we slept in the same bed. And I can remember, I always wanted to sleep over by the window. And the bed was pushed up to the wall at the window. I wanted to sleep by the window, so crawling in that night, pretty bad.
The abuse from my mother, I think, was the worst. I wish I never had you. I wish I'd left you in the bushes. I wish I'd flushed you down the commode. When my mother would come home, it was like the most fearful thing that you gotta go in her room. She made no dishes, she made no dishes. She was a very, very bitter woman.
By the time Janetta and Sonia were 9 and 10 years old, their mother was a chronic drinker who entertained men in her home.
She would get drunk and let them come to our house and let them spend the night with her while she drunk in her room. They're coming out of her room and do what they want to do while she laying in her bed with another man. We were never coming in to get us, so we would lay in the bed together. Because we knew the door was going to open, and we knew one of us was going to get taken out of the room. And one night, my uncle came in, and she begged him to take her instead of me.
By the time they were teenagers, Janetta and Sonia were in trouble.
I started hanging in the street, started meeting the wrong kind of men. I dropped out of high school in 11th grade. I stopped caring about going to school. My mother dropped out. Everybody in my family dropped out, so it was a cycle. At that point in my life, it wasn't a problem doing anything I had to do. It wasn't a problem. I'd already been violated and raped. So didn't have any essence about myself. Didn't know how to be a lady. Wasn't taught how to be a lady. And I met the first person that came along. I got pregnant the first 2 or 3 times we were together, and he left, said it wasn't his baby. Damn, I'm a single mother now.
Repeating their mother's pattern, both sisters had unwanted children by their late teens. But there was one difference between Janetta and Sonia.
Never done drugs, but I have done everything other than drugs. But that was one of my rock bottoms that I wasn't going to do. I did everything straight. People don't want to tell people their story when they get on drugs. I did everything there was to get drugs. I robbed, I stole, I prostituted, honey. I was down to 98 pounds. I had no breasts, I had no behind. You could see my ribs. I was jumping in a car. I had guns put to my head. I had knives put to me. I slept in bed in houses. I slept in bed in cars. I eat sometimes maybe once a week. It was so traumatic for me. We were 11 months apart. To see her, I think that was the hardest part of my life. It's to see her throw her life away.
Over the next few years, Janetta worked small jobs and had a second son named Jaleel. There were men in her life, but the relationships didn't last.
There have been times it's that you go there, you have flashbacks, you know? There's somebody ripping something off of you, and you know how ugly and nasty and degraded that makes you feel.
While Sonia remained stuck in anger, Janetta moved on. After months of studying, she took the GED test.
But I missed it by 1 point. And thank God I went back the next day, the next week, and we took it. And I was the only one there. I was 30 students. I was the only one that showed that day. And I think even then, that part of my life, is that I wanted something.
By the time she turned 30, Janetta had an awakening.
I looked at my boy and I said, are there going to be a rapist? Are there going to molest their kids? Because at that time, I realized every man in my family that I knew had touched me inappropriately. So I knew then this was a cycle. And I said to myself, we're going to break this cycle. Didn't know at that time, never heard about a cycle. Just knew that I was in one. Knew that I didn't want to continue to be like my mother. And knew that I didn't want my 2 male boys to grow up and be a statistic. They want them to be in jail. They want them on the corner selling dope. They want them to get caught up and somebody offer them dope and say, hey, you know, sell this and bring me your money. I didn't want that. I didn't want them to be looked down upon. I didn't want them to be ashamed of me. I owed them something else.
Even at a young age, Rashad understood the legacy of abuse in his family.
Most of the men in our family is either in prison or dead. And I knew I wasn't going to be either or wanted to be either. I had to do something, and I knew the military and going to college would be that because I know I'm going to make it.
A high school graduate, Janetta's son Rashad has decided to enter the Air Force as a way to further his education.
I'm probably the only male in my family graduated from high school. So yeah, I knew college was for me.
On July 1st, 2008, Rashad McSwain entered the military at Fort Gillem near Atlanta. His mother was there for him.
It's the first black male in my family to do something so honorable in his life, something so recognized, and I'm just so proud of him.
Hi, Janetta. Janetta, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
So, Go ahead, Janetta, please address the Cuba. Go ahead, Janetta, please address the.
Can everybody hear me clearly? Hello? Can everybody hear me?
Okay, Janetta, yes, everybody can hear you. Okay, Janetta, yes, everybody can hear you.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I am so glad to be with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the documentary. That is a true story of my life. That was my sister and myself. As you saw on the documentary, I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. I have one sister that you saw in the documentary. One of the things I want to share with you tonight is the importance of education, the importance of staying in school, the importance of not doing drugs, the importance of being a role model, listening to your teachers, listening to your professional people that's over you. They're there for a reason. When I was 5 years old, I was left alone, my sister and I, and my male cousin. We were beaten, we were tied up, we were viciously raped, we were choked, we were put outside in the cold to freeze to death. I mean, it was horrific. And I didn't have anyone to, to love me. I didn't have anyone to guide me. I didn't have anyone to tell me don't do drugs. My mother was a chronic alcoholic. She drank all day, all night. My mother was violent. She killed a man in front of me. She cut his throat from here to here. She went to jail. She shot a man. She stabbed a man. She was just brutal. I remember growing up, my mother would tell me all the time that she didn't love me. She told me I was ugly. She told me I was never going to be anything. She told me she didn't love me. She left me in the bushes to die when I was a little girl. She said she wished she never had me. She told me that she should have flushed me down the commode. I just grew up in such a horrific life. As I got to be a little older, around 10 and 11, I started stealing. I started stealing clothes and shoes. I started stealing panties, little things that you take for granted. I started taking them. I was picked on at school. I was called voodoo and ugly and Scarface. I have scars all over my body. I have scratches and scars all over me. When I was a little girl, I was tied up to chairs. I was whipped with stitching cords. I was made to sit in the closet. I sat on the porch at that house that you just saw, and I got pneumonia and almost died. Still, I couldn't tell anybody because I was so afraid that I would die. I was so afraid that nobody would love me, nobody would hear me. I didn't have social workers in my school. I didn't have anybody that cared about me. I didn't have anybody that said something is wrong with that little girl. Nobody. So I started stealing because all I wanted to do was look like you. All I wanted to do was be pretty. I wanted the Michael Jackson beat it jacket. I wanted a penny loafers. I just wanted to be a little girl. So what I did was I wanted to be loved. So you know what happened to me? I ended up shoplifting. I ended up getting caught, going to juvenile. At that time, my sister became defiant. She started fighting. She took a gun to school. She was out of control. Nobody helped us. Nobody said something is wrong with those two little girls. Nobody. As I got to be 14 and 15 years old, I met a little boy. They said I was cute, that he liked me. What did I do? All the pressures of having sex. So I did, you know, because everybody else was doing it. And I didn't know what love was. I just wanted to be loved. And I heard that you guys call it smashing. And don't laugh, okay, because I know I'm late. But that's what I just heard. So that's a new word for me, okay? That's funny, too. So I started smashing about 14 to 15 years old. Eventually, I dropped out of high school in the 10th grade. When the dope man moved next door to me. This was the 80s, and crack cocaine was popular. So the dope man moved next door to me, and he told me I was cute, and he told me he wanted to, you know, get with me. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't be tripping. Anyway, I was just, what, 16 years old. I was naive, and somebody was looking at me. Oh, I thought I had it going on, okay? Before I knew it, I was in the dope house. I had a gun. I was selling drugs. I was out of control. Guess what happened? I dropped out of high school. You know why? Because my mother dropped out. My sister had dropped out. My uncles didn't go to school. Nobody in my family went to school. And nobody told me the importance of education. So I dropped out of high school. I wasn't pregnant or anything. I wasn't dumb. I just followed the cycle in my family. So I dropped out of high school. I got in the club with a fake ID at 17 years old. I started clubbing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was out of control, okay? Oh, I met this dope man, and guess what happened to me next? I got pregnant at 19 years old. Guess what happened? He abandoned me. He said it wasn't none of his baby. So here I am, 19 years old, with a high school diploma, without a high school diploma, and I was pregnant. So here I was, a single black young girl, no education, living in the hood, with a baby on the way. So you know what my mama told me? She said, go get food stamps, go get welfare, go get you somewhere to stay. That was it. So I did. I went and got food stamps, I went and got welfare, I went and got Section 8. I was another statistic. You know what? I had a baby. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a job. So I finally went back to school and got my GED. But can you imagine going to school with a baby on your hip? Can you imagine waiting the first of the month to get a welfare check? And let me tell you, it was $88 back then. Yes, it was. Okay. I got a job. I was making $3.25 an hour. Go ahead and laugh. I know that's funny, isn't it? You know what happened to me though? I began to lose myself. I began to hang with my girlfriends. We was smoking blunts, passing them back and front. We was drinking alcohol. I had a party at my house every night. I was out of control. I didn't even know that I didn't love myself. I didn't even know that I was a good mother to my baby boy who had no father, who was born to me. And you know what? I was clubbing. So finally we went to school and got my GED around 20, 21 years old. I was working in a warehouse, picking potato chips out because I had nowhere else to go. And then my sister, she had got on drugs. She had got married. He was abusive to her. Then she moved to the projects. She got introduced to crack cocaine at 20 years old. She was on crack cocaine. She got shot 7 times. She got stabbed. She got thrown in the cars. Can you imagine seeing your sister on drugs, 80 pounds? Can you imagine seeing your sister living in the park, on the bench, eating out the garbage? Can you imagine looking for your sister? She's 11 months older than me. Can you imagine when I was a little girl, my sister would give her body up for me. She would fight for me. But at this time, she couldn't fight for me. I watched my sister literally die. Not a physical death, but a mental death. She is now at 42 years old. She's paranoid schizophrenia. She's HIV positive. She's suicidal. She's sick. And she's so angry and hurt because nobody helped us. And I'm telling you today, all of you out there today, drugs, it hurts you, it kills you, it destroys you, it destroys your family. It's not cute. Can I tell you that? It's not cute smoking dope, doing drugs, taking pills. It's not cute. It's not cute when you're sick. It's not cute. You think I want to see my sister sick? Let me tell you something else. It's not cute having a baby with nobody there. At 30 years old, I woke up on my 30th birthday 9 years ago. And I had nothing. I had nobody. I had no husband. I had no skills, no job, nothing. Do you understand me? I had nothing. I had a man who didn't even love me. But I woke up and you know what? I looked at my two boys, 12 and 5. On my second son, I got an abusive relationship that a man said he loved me. He punched me in my face. He cracked my ribs. But he said he loved me. Then I got another relationship with a baller. You know, he had it going on. You know what he did to me? He beat me too. He choked me. So, and I realized that I had to break the cycle in my family. I had to save my boys. I had realized at 30 years old, I said, oh my God, something is wrong with me. My boys are going to hurt somebody. They're going to be molested. They're going to be rapists. They're going to be dropouts. They're going to be on drugs. They're going to die. And you know what? I wasn't going to jail to see my children in jail. You understand me? I was going to make my two black boys somebody. You know what I did? I packed up my house. I moved to Georgia. I drove 2 nights and 2 hours in the rain to Georgia, Atlanta. Because I had to save my boys from the streets, from drugs, from dope, from diseases, from bad influences. They needed a new environment. Look at me today. I've been here 9 years. My son that you saw, he's 22 years old. He was the first male in my family to graduate high school. He went to the Air Force. He went to the Air Force. He done well in the Air Force. He's now getting married to his high school sweetheart. She's not pregnant. No. He's doing well. He's in college studying to be a dentist, hygienist. My 14-year-old, 15-year-old son, he's in ROTC in high school. He's doing well. He's smart. Guess what? They haven't been on drugs. They haven't been to jail. They haven't been suspended. They don't have tattoos and earrings. Guess what? They are drug-free. And you know what? You can too. I'm coming from Atlanta, Georgia to tell you that you are beautiful. You are cute and handsome. I really can't see you really well. But let me tell you something. Go for your dreams. I got my bachelor's degree. 2006, I went to college. Can you believe I went to university? I went to Kennesaw State at 33 years old. I couldn't read well. I couldn't write well. I had a 10th grade education. And I'm at a 22,000 student. And just me. I worked my butt off to get my bachelor's in science. In 3 years, I went to college. The first in my family to get a bachelor's degree. And then in 2006, I went to Clark Atlanta University. And guess what? I have a master's degree in social work. I graduated with a 3.98, top of my class with honors. You know what else I did? I take that documentary, The Road Beyond Abuse, at Georgia Public Broadcasting. You know what? Last year I got an Emmy. Can you believe that? Can you believe a little girl that everybody throwed away? They said I was ugly, I wasn't going to be anything. Look at me now. I'm successful. You know what? Did I tell you the good news? That I'm getting my PhD. Did you know I'd be the first in my family to be the first doctor in my family? Can you believe that? Look at me. Do you know I have a book? You see the book? Rising Above the Scars. You see me? That's me on there. That's the little girl that was thrown in the bushes to die. That's the little girl who had syphilis when she was 7. That's the little girl that was tied up and beaten and choked. Look at me. Now I am a butterfly. I don't do drugs. I love myself and I love you. I'm working on forgiveness with my mother, my sister, my 2 sons. I travel all over the world. I speak. I go to schools because you know what I want you to know? I want you to know that you can do anything that you want to do. You can be anything that you want to be. So what? So what you did something stupid? So what you made mistakes? So what you had a baby? So what? I know you move a lot. I know your family. I understand that. But it doesn't matter where you are. You can still be successful. If you want to sing, sing. If you want to dance, dance. If you want to act, act. If you want to be the president, be the president. Be anything that you want to be. But you can't do drugs to do it. You can't, because you can't think. See, you got to be smart and intelligent. You got to be classy. See, I'm a diva. All you ladies, you can't see me, what I'm wearing. But girl, I am a diva. Do you hear me? I got it going on. And let me tell you something. I love me. I don't need drugs to make me feel good. I don't need friends to make me feel good. I don't have people around me that hurt me. I don't have friends that make me do things I don't want to do. I don't let men or boys talk me into doing anything I don't want to do. I love my body. I am fine. You hear me? I am beautiful. And I'm not letting anybody destroy my I'm a princess. And so are you. And you don't need validated. What do drugs do anyway? What do? They destroy you. They kill you. They mess your brain up. They mess your life up. They hurt you and your family and the people around you. You are a star. Did you know that? You are beautiful. You know what? Do you know that you got people that love you? Do you know that you got teachers and social workers? I didn't have what you have. Do you know you have a chance to live your life, to do anything that you want to do? Do you know that? You can be anything that you want to be. Just look in the mirror at yourself. Just look around you. I'm a living witness today. My story is true. It's not made up. And you know, I want to come to Japan and see all of you guys. I want to hang out with y'all. I want to talk to you. I want to hug every last one of you. That's what I want to do. Give you some of this love I got. You know what? I've been in school 6 years. Yes, I have. And I'm tired of school now, okay? But let me tell you something. Education, it gives you options. Do you hear me? Education gives you options. Yes, it does. I see your glow sticks out there. Yay! Let me see my divas. Let me see my young men. Let me see you. I wish I was there with you. I'm so emotional right now. I'm so happy to have a chance to talk to you today. I'm so happy to tell you that drugs is not the way, baby. It's not. You know what? Them friends, how many friends are we going to lose? How many family members are we going to lose? Did I tell you that all 3 of my uncles that abused me are dead? They dead. So you know what? I no longer have to be trapped. You know my sister that you saw who didn't make it out? She's still battling crack cocaine, suicide, anger. Don't let it do that to you, okay? Go to school.
Wait, Janetta, can you hear me? Wait, Janetta. Okay, take your talk button off. We're going to go ahead and collect the question cards. And I also, since I know your story so well, I would really, really like you to talk about the things that when you decided to change your life, it wasn't easy for you. It was not easy. You had so many things, you know, even just moving to Atlanta. It wasn't like you could just pick up and move to Atlanta. Can you talk about that a little bit?
It wasn't hard for me moving. When I decided to move to Atlanta, because I was on Section 8, I couldn't move. I had to wait a year before I could move. And my baby daddy, he didn't want me to move, so he took me to court. He tried to take my baby boy from me. I had to fight 3 custody battles before I could move to Georgia. I had no money. I had no job. I had nowhere to go, so I had an apartment in Georgia. I remember driving to Georgia. I didn't even have my tires on my car was so bad I couldn't even drive, so I took a chance to drive into Georgia with bad tires. I had the people that's supposed to help me move, they didn't help me move, so I had to move by myself. Me and my 12-year-old son had to pack my truck, drive in the rain all the way to Georgia, move up 3 flights of steps all night, lay on the floor for an hour, get back up, drive back to Birmingham in the rain, pack my house up, drive back. It was rough on me. I had no husband. I had nothing. I got food stamps and that was it. And so I moved to Georgia because it was hard for me in school. I had to learn how to read. I had to learn how to write. I spoke Ebonic. I didn't know how to write well. I had to go to the write lab every night for about a year straight. I studied with all the white girls who had A's because I wasn't smart. I didn't know anything, so I had to work harder than the average student. I had to study to go to the study group so that I could make them think I was smart. I worked my butt off. I went to school summer, winter, fall, no breaks. I took 6 classes, which was 18 hours full time. My car got repoed. I couldn't get to school. I had to catch rides to school. It was not easy for me. It was not easy for me. I had a rough time. But look at me.
Tell them about failure is not an option. You remember yours?
Well, when I moved to Atlanta, I wrote on my refrigerator, failure is not an option. I had already mastered being poor. I had already mastered being abused. I had already mastered being a partner of domestic violence. I had already mastered the streets. And I knew that failure was not an option, and it's definitely not an option for you. And you know what I did? I got rid of all the negative people in my life. I studied hard. I didn't go out to clubs. I didn't do anything but go to school. And I told my 2 boys, I'm going to give you a role model. I'm going to make you proud of me. I'm going to be the first doctor in this family. And that's what I'm going to be in 2014. I will graduate as Dr. Janetta McSwain. Yay!
Okay, we're going to go ahead and collect cards for questions, and I actually already have a question for you. So if you give me 1 second so I can make the announcement that they're going to collect cards.
You're good.
All right, the first one says, "You're beautiful, thank you." The question is, why didn't you do any drugs like your sister and your mother?
I watched my mother drink alcohol. I watched my mother kill a man, shoot a man, burn a man. I watched my 3 uncles that abused me, drugs, and it was my rock bottom. I just couldn't do drugs, and I just couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. And that was just one of my rock bottoms because my family surrounded me with drugs, and I just didn't want to be another person on drugs. And my sister got on drugs because it just helped her ease the abuse, the anger and the hurt from the abuse. And a lot of people that has been abused use drugs as a coping mechanism and coping factor.
You're good.
Was there one day in your childhood that was worth remembering as a good time?
My grandmother used to take me fishing, and I used to go fishing with my grandmother. I loved going fishing because that was one of the times nobody hurted me. One of my most favorite times was to go up under the house and put on my Wonder Woman sheet. I wanted to be Wonder Woman when I was a little girl, so I would go outside and dream I was Wonder Woman and turn around until I get dizzy. And Wonder Woman was beautiful. She made me feel beautiful, and that was some of the best times for me. And you know, being 4th of July, like having ice cream, because I never had a Barbie doll, I never had a birthday cake, I never had a birthday party when I was a little girl. So one of the biggest things in my life that made me happy was being able to watch cartoons and being able to watch Wonder Woman.
Do you ever wish that you had a different family? Like, do you regret having the family you have now with the exclusion of your sons?
No, I do not. I think I have the right family. I look at myself today and realize that it was my destiny. What happened to me, I'm not bitter, I'm not angry. If I'm able to talk to you today and go all over the world and share my story of empowerment, then it's worth every blow I took in my head. It's worth everything happened to me. I love my mother and my sister. I realized that my mother could not help who she was. She couldn't love 2 little girls because she couldn't love herself. So no, I'm going to do what I can to fight for my family, just like I'm going to do what I can to fight for you.
Where is your mother now?
My mother still lives in Birmingham, Alabama, and my sister. We get along fine. We talk. We have boundaries. She knows how to treat me or else. But I love her as much as I can love her at this stage in my life, and I forgive her. I had to forgive her in order for me to be healthy, for me to be a whole woman. I had to forgive her. And me and my sister are very close. She just left last weekend, and it's just a lot of forgiveness. It's a lot of patience. It's a lot of time. You know, it didn't happen overnight. It's not going to go away overnight. You never forget the hurt. You never forget the abuse. It never goes away. But what you can do is you can wake up every day to do something about it. And that's who I am today.
How can we best prevent friends from using and abusing illegal substances or alcohol?
Could you repeat the first of the question?
Good.
How can we best prevent friends from using and abusing illegal substances or alcohol?
First of all, you don't do it around them or with them. You don't have a friend that do drugs. You say, you know what, you can't be with me if you do drugs. I love you and I'm your friend, and because I love you, it's not cool. Drugs is not cool. Who want to be high all the time? That ain't cool. That's not what's hot. And you know what a friend does? Is you don't allow it to happen around you. I don't be around my friends that smoke marijuana. I have friends that still smoke back in Birmingham. I don't go around them. And when I come around, if they want to be around me, they can't smoke around me. That's who I am. And you know what? It's unacceptable. So you know what's cool and what's hot and what is a cool friend is you say, look, you too pretty, you too beautiful, you too cool, man, to do drugs. You don't need that to make you feel good and make you be around me. You are hip and you are hot without drugs. So what you have to do is you be a model for that friend. Unfortunately, we can't save everybody, but we can start with ourselves and the people that's around us.
What happened to your boy cousin?
My boy cousin, unfortunately, went down the same road my sister went down after abuse. He went to juvenile and he got locked up in prison. He ended up killing a man. He ended up having issues with his sexual identity because of the abuse and the molestation. And today he's in prison. He got on drugs like my sister. And I'm the only one out of three of us that you see tonight that's sane, that's doing what I'm doing. And I'm here tonight because I'm their voice. I'm here because I'm their voice.
Okay. What happened to your uncles, and is your mother still drinking?
My mother isn't drinking anymore. Thank the higher power for that. She actually went back to church. You have to get the book. We're working something out where each one of you guys can get the book. You'll read the real story about my mother. There's a lot about her in the book. But she stopped drinking. She went back to church, so she's much pleasant to be around. She was in denial of abuse. And my three uncles are dead. The last one just died about 3 months ago for 30 years in prison for rape. He died in prison. He had a box, and in the box he had a picture of me and my sister. I don't know what that meant. I don't know if he got his soul right, but I hope he did the right thing. But all three of my uncles are now dead. All of them died of brutal death.
The next question is, are you in a healthy relationship now?
Well, I just left my husband. I got married when I moved here, and I just left my husband. He didn't know how to treat me. He couldn't treat me like a queen that I am. He couldn't respect my message, my mentoring, my message that I have to do. And he started mentally calling me names, stupid. He started calling me out of my name. I'm not having it. Do you understand? I am beautiful queen. I'm going to be treated like a lady. And guess what? If you can't get to stepping. So I told him, I'm done. Because I will not be abused physically or mentally, period. Because you know what? Love does not hurt. You understand me? Oh, I see you ladies up there. I'm looking at you. You're too cute. Don't let nobody hit you and tell you nothing, you're not good enough. You are. And that's why I left him. And honey,
We can't hear you, big head.
The next question is, did you ever want to give up?
never, ever, never give up. Never. We'll never give up. You know, I was told that I wasn't good enough to be a doctor, that I was too loud and I was too ghetto to be in the PhD program, even though I had a 3.95. I flew to Harvard because I was told that I couldn't go to Harvard. Oh, yes, I can. Barack Obama told you, well, yes, I can. Failure, honey, is absolutely not an option for Janetta. Never want to give up. There's no such a thing as give up. Honey, I just beginning. It's on.
The next question is, how do you manage to be so strong?
Life brings you a lot of lessons. Life brings you pain, setbacks, disappointment. Life brings you heartbreak. But you know what? You don't stay trapped. You don't stay there. You know what? You get up. You brush yourself off. You put your comeback boots on. You look at yourself, and you know what? At 5 years old, I couldn't control what happened to me. They were evil. But you know what? I can control myself as an adult. I choose who love me. I choose who treat me right. I choose who respect me. That's how I stay strong. I look in the mirror every day and I see a beautiful woman who paid and bought everything she has. And you know what? I'm strong because I'm around strong people. Because I'm around and I evolve myself around people that takes me higher, that makes me feel good, that empowers me so that I can empower you. So you know why I'm strong? It's because we are women, honey. Did you know we are the queen? We are built this way. Girl, you better wake up and realize who you are.
Do you still talk to your mother?
I do still talk to my mother. We have a great relationship. My mother told me she loved me for the first time around 34, 35. So I tell her I love her every day. When I see her, I give her a hug because she never hugged me. And so, yeah, we have a great relationship, and I'm thankful for my mother. She's came a long way about this thing, and she comes to support me in my event. She comes here, and so she knows all about the night, and she's happy for me. She's proud of me. She loves me.
I'm glad you're happy and successful now, but do you have any regrets?
I have no regrets at all. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing, because I couldn't be the woman I am today. I couldn't have the authenticity, the realness about who I am if I hadn't experienced what I experienced. It made me the prince that I am today. I no longer have to kiss frogs to find my prince. I no longer have to wait to be kissed to find who I am, to find my power. I don't need long hair. I don't need all that to define me. So no, I don't regret anything. And you know what? I got the rest of my life to live, honey. So I don't have tears. I'm not the victim. Woe is me, po Janetta. No, there's no pity party here, girlfriend. You understand? There's no pity party here, baby. It's all good.
The next question is, are you ever going to come to Okinawa?
Oh, yeah.
The next question is, are you ever going to come to Okinawa? Are you ever going to come to Okinawa?
I will be on the first plane tomorrow if I could be. Yes. And I want to go and eat some good food, and I want to come see all of you guys, and I want to come sign you a book, and I want to come hug each and every last one of you. But tell the boys they can't be trying to get on my
The next question is, Is your son home? Can we say hi? And P.S. You're an inspiration. The next question is your son home and can we say hi? P.S. You're an inspiration.
Did you say something about my son?
Michaela, go ahead.
Be loud.
He asked if your son was home. Can he say hi?
Yes, but the older one is in Mississippi, and the youngest one didn't want to come tonight. He had something going on. You know, he's 15, okay? So you know how that is.
Okay, Janetta, quick announcement.
But he wants to come to Japan.
Okay, quick announcement. Any questions that we don't get to ask you today, you can submit them to me and I will get them to Janetta and she will try to get a personal response back to you. So just to know, we've got tons of questions. Not all of them will be able to be asked, but she will get all your thoughts. Okay, back to the questions. Has faith been a factor in your recovery?
Absolutely. I grew up in the church all my life, and I grew up in the South, okay? Alabama, the dirty South, okay? And we went to church a lot, and that was one of the things that really was special in my life and kept me from doing a lot of the things I didn't do. So yes, faith was big in my life. One of the reasons why I changed my life is because I had a vision. And in that vision, my pastor came to me in a vision at my church, and she told me to run for my life before it's too late. So that's one of the reasons at 30 years old, I woke up, I said, oh my God, I got to do something in my life. So yes, the faith was, and it still is, a big thing in my life. I couldn't do what I do if I didn't have faith. I couldn't do it. It's one of the reasons why I'm that strong woman that you see today. Yes, everybody needs some kind of higher power, some spiritual in their life. I'm not saying what you need to choose. All I'm saying is everybody needs something in their life that's higher than them.
The next question is, have you ever met your father?
Yes, I met my father. Yes, I met my father. I was around him a few times growing up. Never been a good father. My father had a hotel, I remember, and he used to have a lot of, you know, all kind of women, you know, in and out the hotel. So I never was close to my father. He is still living. We don't have a relationship. So I grew up without a father, really. Yeah.
The next question is, how did you ever forgive your family members and get over it?
A lot of understanding that it was a learned behavior, that they were abused by my grandfather. So that was one thing. Going to school, being a social worker taught me a lot about, you know, mental behavior and abusive behavior. And just for my own sake, my own mental health, is that I just didn't want to stay angry and bitter. You know, most of them are dead now. So, you know, but a lot of them came from faith. A lot of them come from praying, my beliefs, and my higher power. And, you know what? You know what? It's too much. It's too hard to be mad and angry all your life. And I had just threw away my life so long. And you know what? I'm good. I'm in a good place. And you know what? And pray for their soul.
The next one isn't really a question, and it's kind of long, okay? Your story reminds me of my mother, who was mentally abused, and her family was physically abused as well. You are truly a beautiful person. My mom is the most amazing person in my life. Your story should be heard around the world because you show no matter what, anybody can make it.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy for your mother. She's got to be beautiful. Thank you.
The next question is, how did you get through everything without telling anyone?
Fear. My uncles were 200-300-pound men. I was 5. I was probably didn't weigh that much, but fear threatened to kill me if I told. And I think one of the things was nobody cared. You know, I just, you know, when you don't have I saw my mother once a month. You know, when I did see my mother, she came home and left. So you just didn't tell anybody. We were raised not to talk about what happened to us, not to talk about what happened in our house. That's the way we were raised in our family. So you just didn't talk about it, and you just didn't, and so nobody knew.
The next one's a comment. Dear Janetta, by the way, thank you for doing this for us. There are some people who really don't know what life is like off this island. My heart goes out to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all your comments. I'm so emotional right now. I'm about to cry.
The next one is a comment from another student. It says, I never had it as hard, but I want you to know I understand that pain. I'm going to break my family cycle. Thank you.
You do that. You do that. You do that. You do that. You set out to break your family cycle. You can do it. And I can help you also.
The last question is, how did you deal with the stress?
How do I deal with the stress?
Yes.
I know this sounds silly, but I don't. I'm a realist. I'm a straightforward person. Lisa knows me very well. I love you, Lisa. I love you. I'm a very forward person. I keep it real. I tell you just like it is. I have no room in my life for stress. When I have setbacks, I get over it. When I fall and I mess up and I make mistakes, I'm human. I realize I don't stay trapped. I don't stay stressed. I have too much work to do around the world to be stressed. I eliminate myself from negative environments, from negative people. I stay around people that uplift me, that loves me, that supports me, like Lisa. It's a challenge every day. I have haters. It's good to have haters. It's okay. Keep it moving. That's what you do. You know what? I get my hair fixed, my nails fixed. I look beautiful. I feel beautiful. Girlfriend, stress? No.
Okay, Janetta, we have come to the end of this fabulous assembly. I want to thank you. I know you haven't been able to hear it, but people have been cheering pretty much throughout this whole thing. Every time you saw the glow sticks waving, that was when they were cheering. I am so pleased and proud that you were able to join us today from Atlanta. And have a good evening.
I'm so grateful and so humbled to have the opportunity to be able to talk to all of you guys tonight. I can't wait to come to Japan and see you guys. I can't wait to bring you a book. I want to sign your book for you. I'm excited. Stay in school. I want to hear good things about you, okay? Please, please, please break the cycles in your family, okay? Please, I want to hear good things about you. You can email me. Lisa will give you my email address. Everything you tell me will be confidential. I'm here if you need a friend. If you need to share, you can share with me. And I love you, and thank you, Okinawa, for bringing me to the principal, to your supervisors, to everybody who made this happen. Thank you, Lisa, for working hard, making this happen, making sure this Skype happened. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait to come and speak to you guys live. Yes!
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And the bell is going to be ringing here very shortly, so we will conclude.
Woo, 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 woo.